distinct types of wing fics. Not necessarily like wing kink, but wing fics. So I feel like there is the brotherly bonding where both angels, like Gabe is helping Cass like groom his wings or teaching him about, growing up as an angel or whatever, or building a nest. And then there is the very, very different, if you're my mate, you're gonna touch my wings. And something I learned about wing kink is oil glands, which I didn't know until I started reading it. And it's like this whole...
I've learned things about birds.
Yeah. I started like Googling wings, like what do wings look like? How do they work? Like I never had an interest before, but it was intense.
Or like grace sharing, which is another specific to our fandom trope, where like Cass's wings are made of like pure grace, and so Dean either inadvertently touches them and there's like grace sharing, or it's via like grooming because of some sort of injury, so like hurt comfort or whatever.
Yes. I personally am more partial to the having actual wings, and like Cass is super freaking embarrassed about his wings because they're like degraded or whatever, but he's going through molt and he needs help.
Yes.
I love that. I love that because, it plays into hurt comfort. It plays into Cass being embarrassed.
Taking care of each other, like grooming.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. Definitely. So I'm big on that. I love it. And I love when Dean, like, steals a feather. You know what I mean?
Oh,
and then suddenly they're mated. Like, they're partners now forever. Dean wears his feather. Like, I love that. I love that so much. I'm just going to think about it.
So, something that I thought about putting into a fic that I'm never going to do is, so like the little army man and the little Lego piece in the Impala?
Yes.
What if somebody just shoved like one of Cass's feathers in there?
I've thought about this so much, I can't even begin to tell you, but I have no idea how I'd go about it. Because, I don't write coda. I don't write a terrible amount of canon fics. And I'm like, what would I even do?
But you're really good at it.
Divergent. So, yeah, I think it has to be Dean. He'd have to do it.
I kind of, I agree, but I kind of also like the idea of Cass, sneakily doing it himself.
Ooh. Now we're going to start talking plots. He
just kind of, sticks it in there so that, yeah, I know. I'm like, this is a whole different conversation.
But it brings back to the Impala in general as a trope. Because the Impala is their home.
It really is. Even after they get the bunker.
Right. Like, I still want... Okay, so I'm a Novak girl. I'm a Cass Novak. Like, that's his chosen last name. It'll never be Shirley. It may be Winchester. That's a given. But I
hyphenate Novak Shirley.
I thought you were going to say Novak Winchester. And I was like, okay, great. But I'm a Novak girl. So I want him to carve his initials.
Fuck yes!
He needs to carve his initials. Like, how many times has Dean said, "You're family, you're my family"? It's about time he carves his initials on,
So what I really want, and this is totally off topic, but what I want is them to never say that in canon, at all, and just pan past it sometime. So that somebody 2 episodes down the line will go back and be like, whoa, wait a second. And, screen cap it, and it's just barely visible in, one shot in the show. That's all I want.
Like in the blurry background, and you're like, what was that? Go back, rewind.
Exactly.
And everyone's trying to GIF it, but...
Everyone just loses their collective shit.
Yeah. Everyone's trying to, get screen caps of it, and they're sharing it on Tumblr, and they're like, what is going on?
But yeah, I'm of the mind that it would be CW.
Yeah, I feel like Cass is really sentimental, and he could do the CNW to pay tribute to the sacrifices the Novaks have made for him.
Aww.
Oh. Okay.
Oh, man. Okay.
Okay. So you want to switch gears real hard?
Yeah, definitely.
We'll pop a 180 and go back to fandom specific. And this, I started off with something soft, but maybe John Winchester's A+ parenting.
Well, I mean, it is a trope.
It's definitely a trope. And sometimes it's a trope I avoid. I'm just not here for it.
I don't really avoid it because I read a lot of canon fic. And you straight up cannot be a fan of canon fic and not deal with John Winchester's A+ parenting. And I mean, there's varying degrees. There's John was a shithead, and then there's John was a literal abusive father, like he is in canon.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that those are two very different aspects that we're looking at. There's John is a shithead, like, where it's an AU and there was no hunting, but my son is bisexual or pansexual or asexual, some other sexuality besides the straight sexuality that I want him to be. And he's just terrible because of that, because he's not accepting, he isolates. And then there's John Winchester's canon abuse, you know.
And then there's also, like, John Winchester's A+ parenting, where it's maybe, like, a high school AU, and it's not necessarily that he's, like, an actual bad father, but just an absent one.
Yeah, that's definitely another great one. A lot of them are also, like, absent alcoholic father, and so Dean is left raising Sam.
Right. And, I mean, there's just so many different... It's such a big encompassing, like, tag or trope, because it can be done, like, tongue-in-cheek, like, just about something small, or it can be to the canon levels, or it can go far, far beyond that in ways that I don't care to talk about.
Right. And it's like, sometimes I look for those fics where it's like, John is a good dad. And I'm just like, yes, wash me clean, fiction. Wash me clean. Give me that wholesome, homegrown, I have a support system. So can we do swaps and hops? Because this is a new thing for me, and I'm really loving it.
Like, swaps and hops? You mean like body swaps?
Yes.
Or like mind hopping?
Yep, body swaps, mind hopping, gender swaps. I'm not a huge fan of gender swaps, but it is becoming a bigger trope.
Alright, so gender swaps back in the day used to be extraordinarily problematic in a way that would make me just hugely uncomfortable. In other fandoms and in Supernatural, I really couldn't read them because it was often very transphobic or just really misogynistic or really homophobic. Like ones where they take a slash ship and gender swap in order to make it a straight ship.
Yeah, yeah. That's part of the reason why I don't like them, is because they're changing the characters canonically. I don't know how to say that word, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, and I mean, even still, I'm really wary of gender swaps, but I generally call the ones that I dislike cis swaps.
Okay.
Where they will either make, like, Dean was always a girl, but Cass is still just canon Cass.
Right.
And it's like, alright. And that's like a cis swap. I'm not big on that. But Dean downs a potion, gets cursed, is still by gender a male because he is male. He's a dude, but his sex has changed to female. I can read that if it's written correctly.
Well, it would just be Dean in his room by himself.
Or Dean with Cass in his room. So he'd be like, I need to fuck something while I have a vagina, and I have a vagina for like 3 more hours. Please, God, I need to know what it's like. That makes sense, and that I can totally read. As long as his gender does not change, because his gender has nothing to do with his fucking dick.
Right, absolutely. Can you say fucking dick again, just for the people at the back?
Fucking dick.
Yeah!
Alright.
No, I completely agree. And I think that you make excellent points, and I don't have anything else to say on that topic, and I would like to talk about...
I'm sorry, I'm passionate, so...
No, I am riding that wave because it's literally everything that is perfect. But body swaps?
So, body swaps,
Body swaps!
I actually haven't read that many in this fandom. I have read, like, Cass is injured and needs to, like, hang out in Dean's vessel for a while. Like, body sharing.
I've read that, and I loved it. But I'm so hung up on body swaps right now. I read a really great fic, don't quote me, but it might not even be this fandom, oops, where they were like magnetized and they couldn't go a certain distance from each other.
That's my shit. Alright? I haven't seen much of it in Supernatural, but I used to be a big Drarry shipper. Okay. And, like, magically tied together, you can't get very far away from each other. Bond fic was my shit. Alright, go on.
No, that's it. And then time hops. I feel like because they time hop so much in the show, that time hop fics are really popular, going back and forth, going forward only, going backward only in the fandom. Like, I feel like time is meaningless to our fandom.
For sure. Because fuck it. Which is really like the fandom motto. Because fuck it. Why not?
Yeah. Okay, so we're missing a really, really, really big one. Soulmate.
Soulmates? I knew you were going to say soulmates. I knew it.
So soulmates. This is huge for me. It's so huge for me that I am a complete and utter ABO trash because of it, because I think ABO is the ultimate sort of soulmate verse without being a soulmate verse. But just to stick to this topic specifically, I was speaking with one of our members and I asked them, what is your favorite soul trigger? What is your favorite soul trigger, Crypto?
Soul trigger? Define soul trigger.
Okay, so soul trigger is like, oh, you have the other half of my tattoo. Oh, you have the matching birthmark. Oh, I'm sharing your dream. Like the trigger so that you know they're your soulmate.
Gotcha. So, it is so hard to choose. And I actually write like a lot of soulmate prompts. I have like probably like 20 or so on Tumblr. But I think I'm gonna say like one of them gets like mortally injured. Which is horrible, and I'm sorry, but like one get not necessarily mortally injured, but like really fucking hurt. And then it like triggers it.
Can you elaborate? I don't think I've read that kind of fic yet.
This is also like a holdover from Dreary.
Okay, that's fine. I forgive you. No, I'm just kidding.
It does apply in Destiel, and I have read some in Destiel, and God, I want to read a lot more. So it would be like one person is really injured, and then the other person takes care of them, and they end up like drawing on their life force kind of thing. Like, they actually, like, obtain, like, healing from their vicinity. And so they have to stay close together while there's, like, this hurt comfort stuff going on. So a big thing back in Dreary was, like, Hospital Wing, right? Hogwarts.
Right.
And then another big thing that I've seen in Destiel is, like, they have to stay at Bobby's while, like, Cass literally can't leave. So they're forced to spend time together. And they're also, like, realize that, oh, we have this profound bond, and that's why this is working.
Yeah, definitely.
Also tattoos. Tattoos are great.
Oh, BTW.
Like soul marks are sweet.
Yeah, I like the soul marks. I like the ones where it's like the first thing they say to you when you meet them, and it's like something really shitty. Like, hey buddy, fuck you. You know what I mean? Like just something really terrible.
Like, my favorite ones are ones where it's, like, something just inexplicable. Either, just completely confusing. So it's either, like, eat my ass, or, like, damn, your dick is big.
Yeah. Yes. Like, and they're stuck, like, as a 17 or 17-year-old, and the soul mark comes in, and they're like, no. That's
or like they're born with it.
Yeah. Yes.
They're like born with it. And then that can totally, if you want to get angsty with it, tie into some John Winters' A+ parenting, because he sees his perfect little baby boy has like, I want your dick in my mouth right this second, like tattooed on his tiny little baby arm.
Oh my God.
And he's like, no son of mine.
Right. And he throws him out just then. He's like, done.
Yep. And we could probably just, like, spitball an entire plot from that right now, but we're not going to.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. One of the members in the chat says the soulmate countdown clock.
Oh, like, there's that movie that has Anya from Buffy in it. And, yes, that.
Yeah. Which could honestly be super angsty if it's like, you're not going to meet your soulmate till you're 80.
Or, like, what if, because Cass is an angel, and so he's technically, like, not born, Dean's just always says 0.
I have to go! Excuse me! My heart! Somebody save me!
I'm so sorry. I'm not sorry at all.
Sorry, not sorry. Oh my God, could you imagine him growing up? Oh my god, could you imagine him growing up with a countdown timer that's done?
I just like AUs that